everyone, and thank you so much for coming back and joining me. And if you're new to my channel, Wished Upon a Vlog, you're really welcome to be here. My name is Julie and I live in Ireland. So I want to be talking tonight about episode 4 and 5 of Netflix series called The Witcher, and it is doing like immensely well. So if any of you haven't seen those 2 episodes, please come back when you have. So for the rest of you that have, of course, obviously seen episode 4 and 5, I just thought I would come on and share some of my thoughts about these episodes. Now, I actually preferred episode 5 over episode 4. I have not seen 6, 7 and 8 yet, guys, so please do bear that in mind when you're leaving comments. Don't be trying to ruin anything for me. Now, in this, we got to see Ciri in the Brokilon Forest, which is an ancient forest. And the thing is with this episode is so many viewers were so confused that haven't read, you know, Andrzej Sapkowski's novels. Because in this, the time period is different. There's different time periods in this. So the thing is, this episode heavily focused on Queen Calanthe. It also heavily focused on Pythetta, and Pythetta is actually in like 4 of the Witcher books. She's in quite a few of the books, her character. So the thing is, when everybody's saying the Queen Calanthe, like those of you who maybe haven't read the books or anything like that by Andrzej Sapkowski, basically we're very confused, and I completely get that, because I would have been like, what the friggity frig, like what is she doing here? Did she not die in the first episode? So obviously she died in the first episode and Cintra was completely destroyed. So Queen Calanthe being in this episode, people were probably wondering what's going on, because, you know, she died at the beginning, so what is she doing now, you know, being brought into episode 4? But the thing is, people were thinking that when we were seeing Ciri, you know, the scenes with Ciri where it was explaining like why she, you know, needs to find Geralt. Well, them scenes weren't actually happening at the same time period of the scenes with Geralt and, say, for example, Queen Calanthe and all of that. So I know that probably still sounds confusing, you know, but there is differences with the time periods, of course, within episode 4. Now, I do have my notes with me because I want to make sure that I can, you know, I always jot down my thoughts, you know, whenever I watch things, so I don't remember or forget things that I want to say for my YouTube videos. So it explains basically why Ciri has to find Geralt. And I want to talk about Ciri for a second, because I actually think that acting wise, I'm sorry I can't remember the name of the girl who plays her, the young actress, but I actually think in terms of acting, her and Henry Cavill, who of course plays the lead character Geralt, I think that they are the 2 best. Now, we're talking about acting skills. I think they have the best acting chops in this that I have seen thus far. I'd like to see more of Yennefer when I see the last 3 episodes to kind of make my decision. But so far, I would say Ciri could end up being like one of my like favourites. But I think her and Henry Cavill are my 2 joint favourites as of the moment. That is anyways. And I absolutely love Ciri and Wild Hunt. So maybe as well, that's why I really like her in this too. Now, Yennefer I do really like. I have really took to her, especially because we got to see a lot of her in episode 5, which obviously we'll get to. But in this episode 4, you know, the coat that she was wearing with like the fur or whatever around the coat, around the collar of her coat, it really did just like make me have Wild Hunt vibes, which is The Witcher Wild Hunt, which is the 3rd game of The Witcher by a Polish gaming company called CD Projekt Red. Now, in case any of you don't know, that Polish company is the same company that actually have made Cyberpunk 2077, which we're actually getting this year, which I did speak about last night because I did a video talking about 4 anticipated games that are coming this year. If you're interested in watching that and seeing what 4 of those I want to buy, if you go into my YouTube channel, you will be able to see different playlists, and if you just click on the one that's called Gaming, just for any of you that are interested. Now, location wise and visual wise, they are killing it for this series. You know, it has been very steady, to be honest. We're getting to see a lot more locations. The visuals are fantastic. Locations are absolutely stunning. And you can tell that they've spent a lot of money. No, same with Game of Thrones. You can tell they've spent a lot of money for the outcome of the quality of this series, basically. And I just thought I would randomly say, in case anybody hasn't noticed by now, I'm actually wearing pyjamas because I'm just chilling out in the house, basically. And they're actually of penguins with skis. my auntie got me them for Christmas there, so I don't know, I just thought I'd randomly bring that up. But that's what I was going to get to. Henry Cavill, or sorry, Geralt, or White Wolf, or however you want to call him, I like calling him White Wolf. Basically, he mentioned Ciara Moran to the Queen Calanthe, and I like that because I wanted to basically just say, if anybody, I have mentioned this before, but if you haven't seen any of my other reviews of The Witcher that I've done, basically Ciara Moran is a place, and it is a place where Witchers train. Basically, it is a school for Witchers. And basically the reason why Geralt is known as the White Wolf, and he's known by as the White Wolf by many, and the reason for that was because he was in the School of the Wolf, which basically was the school that he trained in, basically. So that's, if you hear, you know, Ciara Moran being spoke about, that's why, basically, you know. So also I loved seeing him using his art sign again, which I've spoke about before, and it's basically just like a force push, basically, if you think of like a force push. So as well, I did speak in my last review, which was episode 3, spoiler review, that Witchers use different signs, and they have different signs that they use. So Ard is one of them, basically. And I did touch more on that in my episode 3 review. If you haven't seen it and you still want to get the chance to see it, it is under my movie and TV reviews playlist on my channel. Now, the only negatives that I want to give are very small, because I will be honest, as a reader of these novels by Andrzej Sapkowski, I think it stayed rather true, to be honest, for episode 4. And to be honest, I don't mind little things being changed anyway. I'm not really a book reader, to be perfectly honest. I only picked up these novels, because I have played all 3 games, and I knew this series was coming out. So like months ago, I bought all of them and I read all of them. I have just finished reading all of them. So I, you know, as a reader of the books, I really am massively appreciating this series even more, I think, because I always wanted to read the books, and now that I've read the books and played the games, I can honestly say, yeah, they have stayed pretty darn true to the lore and the Witcher universe. The only thing that I would have changed, though, was I just think it kind of dragged a bit, you know, the whole like Pytheta scene, like, you know, the magic and everything. I just kind of thought, like, and her up in the air and everything, I don't know, I just kind of felt like those kind of scenes at times felt a little bit, just slightly I'm not mean to be nitpicky, and that is only a small complaint. I felt it was a little bit draggy. You can let me know, drop a comment down below and let me know, was that maybe just me, or did you maybe pick up on something similar? You know, feel free to disagree. You know, no, I'm not trying to say you have to agree with anything I say on my channel whatsoever. So I think as well, the music just wasn't as good in places. You know, there was a couple of places where I just kind of felt I maybe wouldn't have put that music there, and it maybe didn't suit as well as the previous episodes of this series. And I think, you know, in a small way, I'm kind of thinking they'd done the episode well, but I just felt as though there was so much going on. And I think for a viewer who is brand new to the Witcher world and the Witcher universe, they're just kind of like, what the friggity frig's going on? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm not just talking about the time periods and things like that. I'm just talking about, I think that they might have took on just a slight bit more than what they could handle, and it kind of seemed a bit crammed to me, but not too much to the point where I'm going to stand here and moan and complain and rant about it. Does that make sense? Now, episode 5, we'll just go straight on into episode 5, guys. I will stress straight away, it is 100% not, I mean, like, this whole series is not for children. I mean, there's a lot of nudity in it. It is The Witcher, so that makes 100% sense. It is Geralt we're talking about here, so obviously. But I will stress that, you know, if you're going to be watching episode 5, especially, you know, make sure your kids are in bed. You know, this is not a show for kids at all. So I just wanted to massively stress that, because if you're new to The Witcher, it's not for children, basically, is what I want to say. Let's put it this way. Yennefer casts a spell on a ton of people, right? Which then makes them not realise at the time, but you know, they end up, all of them, a ton of people getting their freak on. They get their freak on. So that's what I'm trying to stress. It is not for kids, and my battery's 20% remaining. Okay, we're fine. I can get this done with a 20% battery. But anyways, my phone's nearly dying. But yeah, I really love the humour between Dandelion and Geralt in this. I'm sorry guys, I'm just going to call Jaskier Dandelion because I know him as Dandelion from the novels. So I'm calling him Dandelion. Okay, Dandelion, right? Where, you know the scene where Geralt sensed gin in the water, because you know he sensed things, right? So he sensed gin in the water, right? And in case anybody didn't pick up on what gins are, is they're basically like demons basically, but you can get wishes from them. So kind of, I suppose, like think of Aladdin or whatever, kind of, you know, the way the genie, you know, can grant you 3 wishes basically. But now this is something that I was glad that Geralt actually explained, especially for people who are new to this and they don't really understand what gins are. And it was funny because Dandelion was like keeping going, like a gin you drink. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was joking around thinking he was talking about, you know, alcohol, like gin that you drink, an alcoholic beverage. Then Dandelion got hurt by this gin, right, basically. And then, you know, he was really badly hurt and they were told that, you know, he needs to be cured by magic or he's going to die, he's not going to live. So they need to go and find a way to cure him basically. So one thing I really loved was I actually kind of got Sleepy Hollow vibes, because you know the scene where they go to Yennefer and you see Roach, which is his horse, and you see Dandelion and Geralt. And it was very unfortunate. I thought that they only showed that scenery for such a short space of time, maybe budget-wise, I don't know, but it was very short. But it was like, you know, the spooky-looking trees, the whole, you know, aura of it, you know, was so cool. You know, the mist and just the whole darkness just really was giving me Sleepy Hollow vibes, and I love Sleepy Hollow. I think that's such a fantastic movie. Watch it every Halloween, by the way. Johnny Depp is my favourite actor. I'm just going to put that out there. So then Yennefer healed Dandelion, and I will get to the funny scene because I know you're all going to be saying, like, Julie, are you going to talk about the Dandelion and Yennefer awkward, funny, hilarious, comedic gold scene? Yes, I will be talking about that. So of course she healed him with magic because she's able to do so. And Yennefer and Geralt, you know, obviously, you know, there's a lot of scenes with them two together, which I was really happy to see because I was kind of wondering, you know, like, when we're going to get to see more of that. So we got to see a lot of that, those two characters, which I really love, and from the game as well. So they were very much so close together in this 5th episode. Now, you've seen Yennefer and Geralt in the tub because, of course, you know, anyone watching this still has obviously seen these episodes. And in the game, the 3rd one, which is my favourite one, Wild Hunt, Geralt is in the bathtub with his, like, you know, his feet up in the air, basically. And Yennefer is sort of like lying, like, you know, near him. And she is basically saying to him something like, I thought you said you were going to go out and train Ciri. And then after he gets his tub or whatever, he goes and trains Ciri. Now Ciri, just to cut a long story short, the story within that with Ciri in Wild Hunt, basically Ciri is pretty much like a daughter to Geralt, basically. So, and then after that, he trains her. But she's a lot younger. You know, she's young when he's training her, because he's training her to defend herself. And that's what I really love about the character that was casted for Ciri, because her little face, the actress's face of Ciri in this series really reminds me, and I keep saying this, but in case anybody's new to my channel and you're only here now, then here we go. Her face really reminds me of Ciri when she was young, you know, in the game Wild Hunt. So maybe that's why I like her even more. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about is Geralt was the master of the djinn, and Yennefer wanted to be the vessel of it, basically. But Geralt knew that, you know, she could end up dying, basically. So Geralt actually saved her life in this episode, and I thought they'd done it, the way they done it, the portrayal of it was absolutely fantastic. I thought the visuals were really on point. the whole thing was brilliant, this episode, honestly, and that's why I think that this episode was actually a lot better than the fourth one, and we really did get to see Yennefer's character a lot in this episode, of course. But what was funny was, I just gonna say this here, right? There's a massive array of nudity in this episode, but it's The Witcher. You know, we all know the array of, you know, nudity that we've seen within this episode. There was a lot of it, but it is The Witcher at the end of the day, which I'll keep stressing. Now, I want to get to the funny bit that I was talking about earlier with Dandelion, because Yennefer was wanting him, you know, to make the last wish and everything, because she obviously wanted to be the vessel of the djinn. So she was, you know, going over to him and everything, and obviously she had no clothes on, she was, you know, in the nymph, and he was all really like nervous and everything, and all nervy and everything, and he was like, did we you know, do it together kind of thing or whatever. I can't remember exactly what he said. And then she like pushed him against the wall, and she was like, you will give me your last wish. I can't remember what she even said. It was like a week or two ago when I watched these 2 episodes back to back. I watched them literally one after the other with tons of cups of tea. But and then he, you know, the way he sings that their song, you know, toss a coin to your witcher, toss a coin to your witcher. Well, instead he was like, oh valley of penis or something like that, and it was absolutely hilarious. Oh valley of penis. I could not stop laughing when that part came on. I was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I absolutely loved both of these episodes, but I just think the fourth one sort of dragged a bit more than the fifth one. Definitely the fifth one I feel flowed a lot better, and I also thought it was very comical at the end when Yennefer and Geralt were, you know, getting their freak on or whatever, and on the ground or whatever, and Dandelion was looking through in the window and everything, and you know, it was just really funny. So yes, I love Roach. Oh my gosh, so adorable. I freaking love Roach. But I think Henry Cavill is honestly killing it as the lead role. He is doing an absolute superb job, so hats off to Henry Cavill. And I also wanted to say something that I find a bit strange that people are saying. I have seen quite a few people leave in my different Witcher videos comments saying it really disappointed me that Geralt wasn't really in it that much. He should have been in it more. I'm very highly confused, and I'm actually questioning if people have actually, in all sincerity, watched these episodes, because I've only watched the first 5 episodes, as I say, and Geralt is in it a lot actually, and he's in it the amount that he needs to be in it, so I'm a bit confused. I don't really know what to say to that, but yeah, they've stayed true to the novels, and I think that's great for the respect for Andrzej Sapkowski, you know, who, you know, wrote and created this Witcher universe. And I know I've mentioned this before, but Andrzej Sapkowski wanted Mads Mikkelsen, is that right? Mads Mikkelsen to play the role of Geralt. But, you know, as I showed in my episode 3 spoiler, I showed like a picture of what he had to say, and he was sort of saying, you know, he is happy with his performance. So that's kind of cool that the creator and writer of The Witcher is actually happy with Henry Cavill, because if any of you know Andrzej Sapkowski, he is like kind of rude in interviews, and it's, well, I wouldn't really so much say rude, I would say he's very blunt, and he says things as he sees it, and he says things as it is, which nothing wrong with, but he comes across as very dry. So he actually kind of reminds me of Geralt in ways, because and I think that I might have read something about him saying that he sees a lot of himself in Geralt's character, which is maybe how he wrote him that way, because he does come across as very dry. And that's one other thing I wanted to really quickly mention, is a lot of people are saying that sadly Henry Cavill's, like, you know, portraying Geralt as very dry, and he comes off as very dry on screen. But that is, and I understand that people may not have read the book, so they might not know this, but that is Geralt. He is dry. I mean, even in the Last Wish novel, it explains that he, in one of the parts I was reading, something like Geralt answered dryly, and I think I might have read that a couple of times throughout the books. So, you know, that even explains when someone says, like, if someone said Julie answered me dryly, it means, like, you know what I mean, I'm probably going to be a dry person. So that is him, you know. And also the other thing that I wanted to say was, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh yeah. Also, I completely forgot to mention as well that the bathtub, yes, is in the games, but of course it's in the novel as well. There was a part in The Last Wish where he had a bath, and then not long after that, you know, he was explaining that, I can't remember exactly what it was he says, but like, he said it had made him hungry, or it had built him quite the appetite, or it had given him an appetite, basically, is what he said. And I kind of thought that was funny when he said, when you know, he said that in the novel The Last Wish. So I just thought I would add that in because I had it written down, but I completely forgot, and then it just completely just dawned on me. But yeah, I really hope that you like this review. I really, really do. And I want to thank all of you so much, honestly, for all of the support that you show me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate all of you. So thank you very much for coming along and watching it. I genuinely am so thankful. I am so blessed. All my subscribers are super awesome, and you're all super funny. I love when I get really funny comments, and nice ones as well, of course. So thank you so much, and I will see you all in my next video. Don't forget to come and join me, by the way, if you can make it on Friday, for any of you that are new, just to quickly explain before I head off here to get a cup of tea and then go to bed. Don't know what DVD I'm going to watch in bed tonight, but I'll think about it. But basically, every Friday what I do is I pick a retro movie, and say like the likes of Gremlins, The Goonies, Nightmare Before Christmas, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns. These are all ones that I have actually done so far, and you will find them in my playlist. If you go onto my channel, I have different playlists, and you'll be able to see one that says Retro Fridays. And every single Friday I come on, and basically I record it on Friday morning or afternoon or whatever, and then I set it up as a premiere for later that evening. And then what I do is I get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and I sit down and I'm able to see my viewers or subscribers actually write there and then, you know, and I can reply to people, and then they can reply to me, and it's a really cool place to come and hang out. Honestly, everyone's funny and, you know, really welcoming. So I would love to see some new people coming along as well. And thank you so much to all my regulars that always hang out with me on Friday. I can't wait to see you all there. So I will see you all there, or be square. But until then, don't forget that the force will be with you always. Bye guys. Thanks so much for watching.